What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Highly Biased NBA Podcast. I am your host, Connolly, joined, as always, by my co-host, Brett. Brett, how's it going, buddy?
What's going on? Ready to talk a little basketball?
Ready to talk some basketball, man. Season tips off in like 4 days, 3 days, something like that. It is Friday, October 18th. Season tips off on the 22nd, so 4 days away from the NBA season. Exciting times.
Yeah, very exciting.
Exciting times. We're going over the West today. Easily 10 times harder to predict than the East.
Yeah, I was really struggling.
Yeah, same. But for all the good reasons, though, because the West is wide open. And there are probably, there are like 10 or 11 playoff teams.
Right.
That would for sure make the playoffs in the East, I would say.
Yeah, and before we jump into, our predictions, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What is up with these non-proven players that are turning down great money deals?
I mean,
Jaylen Brown, 4-year, $90 million or $80 million? And then Buddy Hield, 4-year, $90 million? What is?
I like Buddy Hield, dude.
Dude, I like him.
But if you're Buddy Hield and you see the Kings just gave Harrison Barnes the contract he got, I'm saying, yeah.
Isn't that more money, though? Like, that's a bigger deal than the Harrison Barnes deal.
Okay, but if Buddy Hield is way better of a player than Harrison Barnes.
Is he?
Yeah. Bro, Buddy Hield shot like 40% on three on like 8 attempts.
Okay, and how many wins did that get him?
I don't know, but someone will pay Buddy Hield a bunch of money. And guess who I think a team that would pay him a bunch of money is?
Who? Don't say Dallas.
I guarantee you Dallas would do it.
Oh, God.
He makes a lot of sense.
That great of a player. Like, I like him, but it's just crazy to me, the money that these guys are like, nope, I deserve way more.
Well, I think for like restricted free agents, it kind of makes sense because you can dictate the market no matter how you want.
Yeah.
Because there's two ways about it. A team's going to offer you a lot of money in the hopes of getting you, or two, in the hopes of forcing the team you're on to.
I don't see any team in the league giving Buddy Hield a better offer than that. Jaylen Brown, maybe, and that depends on how good he does this year, because even me, I'm not that sold on him yet.
I guess we'll see. I mean, if Buddy Hield plays like he did last season, I could definitely see somebody offering him $20+ million a year, or however much he just got offered by the Kings.
Also, has the preseason ever been this lit?
I
feel like this preseason has been like stupid lit.
Well, I think there's a lot of outside shit going on that's directed a lot more attention to the preseason than we normally pay. You know what I'm saying? With like the China situation.
Oh, okay. I just feel like there's a lot of good young talent, like actually good young talent.
Yeah, that is true too, and it feels like maybe it's because I'm paying more attention to the NBA offseason not the NBA offseason, the NBA preseason than I literally ever have.
But I feel like everybody's doing that. Like,
it feels like people are playing though.
This preseason has been like competitive.
Yeah, like people are playing in games.
Yeah, Luka fighting someone yesterday.
Yeah, that was wild.
He's about to beat up Terrence Mann up.
Terrence Mann.
He's looking at him like, boy, you crazy?
So, dude, you know I'm the rookie of the year, right?
And I wanted to mention this because we talked about the East last week, and you're pretty big on the Bulls, man. They look fantastic.
I'm beating that drum.
Dude, Kobe White looks ridiculous.
I'm telling you, the Bulls are going to be what I said. I said they were a 7th seed. I think
7th seed. Yeah, I could see that.
I'm telling you, man.
I'm really starting to like that team. I mean, as long as Levine's healthy, there's no cap on that team.
Yeah, there's a lot of young talent there.
Right.
Which we've seen teams like that. It could work really well, or it could, collapse into.
Yeah, but Wendell Carter is like a real center. Like, he looks way different than he did last year. He looks like a real center.
Dude, and Lauri Markkanen is a superstar in the making. Truthfully.
Right. No, he's a monster.
So I like that Bulls team.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and talk about the West.
Let's do it.
We're gonna go over each team and predict where they're gonna finish.
Alphabetically, right?
Alphabetically, so we both can give our opinions at the same time. We're not going back and forth all the time.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and start with the Dallas Mavericks.
Ooh, the Mavs. Right now, okay, so I wanted to say my list is based on like assuming no injuries and like pure roster potential is like how I'm doing the West.
Okay.
So I got the Mavs 6th.
Jesus.
I got the Mavs 6th. There's just a couple other teams that I'm not big believers on, like some people are. And watching Kristaps Porzingis, I think we're going to see the best Kristaps we've ever seen.
Yeah, he does look pretty good.
And, man, I just got to give Rick Carlisle the benefit of the doubt. I think we're going to win some games. It was good to see Barea out there last night too, man. He looks like he's ready to hoop. Yeah, Isaiah Roby, I think he's a good young player that we got.
I don't even know if he's going to be on the roster though.
Right, but I'm saying I think we've constructed this roster pretty well. Boban is a really great fit. I think Justin Jackson's taken a step. He looks really good in preseason. And usually I don't really take that much in preseason usually, but I just feel like this preseason was a little different. I was even surprised how many stars were even playing in general. When Anthony
I wonder if it's
got hurt.
because so many people moved around and there's so much to prove in the NBA this season and it's so wide open that everyone's taking it incredibly seriously.
Yeah,
it's like we saw no one played in FIBA this year.
Right.
Because everyone wanted to prepare for the season.
Yeah, that's actually a great point.
Thanks.
And then Jalen Brunson another year. I just think this team could be pretty solid and better than a couple other teams that people are big on.
So you have them 6th?
Yeah, I have them 6th.
I have them 7th. So I guess I'm right behind you. And the reason why I'm putting the Mavericks above some of the other teams fighting for that 8 seed is because they're my favorite team.
That's fair.
That's pretty much it. I could see there's probably a group of 4 or so teams you could really make arguments for fighting for that final spot in the East, in the West.
Yep.
But to me, if I look at it objectively and try to be unbiased as possible, the Mavericks I think have the highest ceiling out of all those teams.
Right.
Because I think you have 2 legitimate All NBA talents in Luka and KP. And so you did it without injuries. The way I looked at this ranking, honestly, was I took injuries into account and just saw mainly I just looked at team's depth, if that makes sense.
Right.
So if I were to say, if this player gets hurt, what would this team look like? Yeah. Wasn't necessarily assuming injuries, but I still think if KP were to get hurt or something happened to Luka, I think the Mavs are a lottery team. But I'm still giving them the spot because I'm a homer and. Luka is he's just going to be a superstar in this league. There's really no way around it.
Right. And I think a lot of teams could be killed by injuries. So that's why I was trying to just not take it. But there's going to be a couple players I mentioned that really worry me.
Yeah.
And but I like this team. I think Rick Carlisle is still a little slept on as a coach. And you talk about depth, man. I think we have pretty good depth on this team. And we got a lot of size and we got some shooters.
Yeah. But obviously, I think things are different for KP here than in New York because he's
way different.
He's not going to have to carry the load.
Oh, and it's an organization that knows what they're doing.
He's going to get time off. They just invested a shitload of money in him, so a bunch of draft capital too.
KP, you're hurt. We don't care. Go play so we can sell tickets.
KP, our second best player is a 45-year-old Carmelo Anthony. We need you out there on the floor, bro.
Yeah.
But no. I think, honestly, when I'm looking for Luka this year, if I had to predict Luka's stat line, I think it's going to be the same as last year. But I think what you're going to see is an efficiency boost because he's going to do less on the court. KP's going to do more. Delon Wright's going to take some of the playmaking chores. Jalen Brunson,
he can run.
Yeah, and I mean he's tall too. The Mavericks, I think I saw the Mavericks starting lineup is the biggest lineup in the NBA.
Right. Well, so what's that starting 5 actually going to look like? Because I've kind of thought what I would do, and then I've seen. But you know how Rick Carlisle likes to mix it up.
Yeah, he's going to mix it up, and it's really not even going to matter because it's just going to be who's closing games and stuff.
Right.
But
what would you think first game starting lineup would be?
I would probably Delon Wright starting at point.
Yep.
Either Luka at the 3 and Seth at the 2, or Luka at the 2, Tim Hardaway at the 3.
Okay.
And then Kristaps
Justin Jackson. I think okay.
I think it's. I mean, there's not going to be a set in stone starting lineup ever.
Right.
But I think if I had to choose one, I think Dillon, Seth Curry, Luka, KP, and Dwight makes the most sense. Just because Seth gives you that spacing, like the knockdown shooting. I know Justin Jackson can shoot and Tim Hardaway can shoot, but I don't think they really space the floor like that.
Okay. Well, do you think maybe Daylon, Luka, Dorian, if we have a tough matchup on the other side or something?
Maybe
with KP and Dwight Powell, or KP and Kleba, or I even think KB and Boban sometimes will happen.
I think Boban's going to be up the bench because that's just a player he's always been, where he's short spurts, come in, he's an offensive powerhouse because he's 7 whatever.
Defense too.
Yeah, I know, but he's just a short spurt guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. The thing
I just
is
think throwing him out there starting lineup sometimes,
Dorian, his shot scares me, bro.
Yeah, for sure. But I think it's gotten better.
Yeah, but KP's a great defender. I mean, depending on who you start at the 5, if you have Maxey starting at the 5, no one's scoring down low because those are 2 great rim protectors and Maxey and
that's
KP.
what I would think, that you would start Maxey over Dwight and let Dwight come off the bench. I just think Maxey's a better overall player. I think he's a better starter.
I think so too, but maybe they look at it and say, okay, Dwight can play the 5 when KP's out there because KP's such a good rim protector, but we need somebody off the bench who can protect the rim when KP's not on the floor.
And Cleveland can score too.
Yeah, I mean, I like Cleveland off the bench. I think Dwight Powell makes most sense in the starting lineup with KP on the floor. I think they go off each other well.
We're expecting, I mean, for us to make the playoffs in this West would be pretty big things. So we're talking big things.
Yeah. So that's I just like the ceiling of this team. If they can hit that ceiling, then they're a terrifying team this year.
Right.
So I got them as a 7th seed.
Okay.
You got them as a 6th seed. Let's move on to the Denver Nuggets.
Denver Nuggets, man, looking really impressive. I got them 2nd.
Same here.
I got them 2nd. It's hard not to like this team. Jokic is an absolute unstoppable force, man.
He's one of the most unique players.
Yeah.
Ever plays.
I love these. Just whenever Portland and Denver plays, it is some of the best basketball I've ever watched. I don't know if you
when they play each other or
when they play each other. I just love that matchup. But I like this Denver team. Like I was saying, who do they? I'm trying to see if it's like a little bit different than the team they had last year. I guess they have
pretty much the same, but they brought in Jerry and Grant, which was
Porter Jr. looking like he can actually play a little bit.
Yeah, Kevin Porter Jr. will be back
from injury. Just being healthy, but other than that, it's about the same team.
Yeah, they didn't lose anyone.
I like Beasley another year. But Jorian Grant is a decent pickup for them. But it's really just Jamal Murray and Jokic, man, and then Millsap kind of to fill in a scoring role.
Gary Harris and Will Barton can play too.
I like Barton. Gary is I'm kind of iffy on him. He's like really hit or miss for me sometimes. Yeah. But overall, this Nuggets team is just really tough, and they score and they defend and they can run in transition and they can shoot. They can pretty much do it all. And then they're looking like it's going to be interesting when playoff comes, no matter what the seeding is, just because of the matchups and anybody can get bounced probably at any moment in the playoffs. But you got to feel good about this Denver team.
Yeah. I got them finishing 2nd. And one of the reasons why I have them so high is the continuity, because there's so much going on in the West this year, and the Denver Nuggets are coming back with the same exact team, basically. Mm-hmm. Jeremy Grant was such a good pickup. I love that for the depth. He's such a good player, can play 2-3 different positions, and really bring some versatility off the bench. To me, the biggest question mark is you just gave Jamal Murray a max. Can he be consistently good? We know what he can do.
I'm a big fan of Jamal Murray, man.
Yeah, I mean, we saw we had that 59-point game last year against the Celtics.
He's just so smooth with it, bro.
Yeah.
And even when he's going off, he's not like crazy flashy. He don't talk too much. Like he just goes out there and balls on people.
Yeah, and we saw in the playoffs he had his big-time moments too, but he also had moments where he was horrible and shooting them out of games.
Yeah.
So can he be consistent? If he can, then this team takes a giant, enormous step forward. But if he's still inconsistent this year, then the team's just kind of the same they were last year.
Yeah.
They probably finished at the top of the West, but to be honest with you, I don't see them like really having the star power to best like the Lakers or the Clippers, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I see on here they have Bol too.
Oh yeah, they did pick up Bol, but I don't know what his status is going to be this year.
Right.
If he's even going to be.
I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, they don't. The thing about their rosters, they've built it so well and it's so balanced and deep that they can take chances on like Michael Porter Jr.'s and Bols who might never play.
Right, 100%.
If they do play, they have a ton of potential.
Yeah, I mean, even young guys, Monte Morris and Hernan Gomez. I mean, these are solid players that are young that can only get better too.
Yeah, they got a nice roster.
Malik Beasley, I mean, he's a solid player.
Nice roster. Yeah. One of the younger rosters in the NBA. We'll see, man. I like their team. We both got them finishing 2nd.
Yep.
Let's move on to the Golden State Warriors. I'm interested to see where you have them.
I got the Warriors in the playoffs at 8.
Okay, wow, 8 seed.
I got them at 8. I think they could have some rocky times, but overall, I kind of wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt. Would it be surprising to me if, Golden State's at 6 and the Mavs are at 8 or something like that? No, that wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, I always thought the D'Angelo pickup was kind of strange, but I guess they probably didn't have a lot of options.
No, it reeked of desperation to me.
Exactly. I kind of pictured D'Angelo having the ball and Steph being off the ball as far as, his running around and getting shots off the,
Yeah.
off the screens and stuff like that. Also, Willie Cauley-Stein is a decent pickup for them.
I think he's horrible.
I think he's okay. And then they have Alec Burks, Marquise Chris is an interesting pickup. And then you got the younger guys they got like Damian Lee and Jordan Poole. How good can they really be?
That depth is horrible.
Yeah, I'm not really big on Amari Spellman. So it's basically Draymond, Steph, and D'Angelo. I just feel like that ceiling was not as high as the Mavs. I just being honest, I really don't. I could see us playing that team well. I guess Alfonso McKinney is okay. Kevon Looney. This team doesn't really excite me. Steph's gonna really have to carry a lot of weight for them to be good.
Yeah,
and you never know how them ankles are holding up. So
that's true. I got them finishing 6. I did mention how I took the potential injuries into account. This Warriors team, if something were to happen to Steph, they're fucked.
Right.
Because that depth is horrendous.
I mean, he's going to miss games.
That's the thing, and they can't really afford that, I don't think, because he hasn't played over 70 games in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And they don't really have that luxury to be resting him. And, usually what would happen is they'd give him breaks, or if he would have some ankle injury or something, they'd take their time with it and let him miss however much time he needed until he felt like he was ready enough to not risk injury again. But they don't have that luxury because I know D'Angelo Russell was an injury all-star reserve in the East last year. Dude is not an all-star in the West. I mean, not even close. He's not making the all-star team.
I could probably agree with that. I mean, he might go nuts this year just because if Steph goes down for any reason, he's going to go crazy probably just because that's the best option to put up numbers.
If Steph goes down, this is what defense is going to do because this is what happened last year when Clay went down. The Raptors sent everybody at Steph. He was literally getting triple teamed at times, and no one else on Golden State could hit a shot.
Right.
So if that were to happen, if something were to happen to Steph, and why defenses should just attack D'Angelo Russell because who on this team is scoring?
We're going to see how good of a coach Steve Kerr is this year.
Yeah, we really are.
I've always thought that Mark Jackson put that team together and coached them up to what they were, and then Kerr was like, "Hey, thank you. I'll take it from here."
This team is as deep as a puddle, dude.
It should be interesting to see because they could fall out of the playoffs as well. Some of these other teams, like we said with the East, the bottom of these conferences can shake out a couple different ways.
Yeah, but I'm giving Golden State the benefit of the doubt. I think they're going to be a playoff team.
Yeah, me too.
But everyone who's like, well, don't sleep on them. They're still championship contenders. I really don't think. It's a different story if Steph goes nuclear and stays healthy and then Clay comes back. Yeah, they're still a scary team.
Steph's going to have to be 30 a game.
Steph's going to have to literally carry this team on his gimpy-ass ankles for almost the entirety of their schedule until Clay comes back.
But Clay, I've heard I saw a knee expert say he shouldn't play for 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah, 2 years, a knee expert.
I mean, by almost all accounts, he'll be back around All-Star break.
Oh, really? That early?
That's what everyone's saying. ACL injuries, people come back from those super quickly.
Yeah, I thought that this Clay's situation was a little worse than some other ones. Because I thought he tore like two things.
Okay, I'm saying the reality is so maybe I got it wrong. He's been ruled out through the All-Star break. So best case scenario is All-Star break, I'm guessing. But the reality is he shouldn't play all season. This is what I'm reading right now.
That's what. Yeah, I've heard that knee is a little different than some other ACLs. But I guess it'll be.
So that actually worries me more.
Right.
Because you're putting a ton of pressure on Curry, who has had terrible injury issues and has even been sidelined with injuries twice in the past 2 seasons for whatever the reason. Even the postseason, we've seen him miss games.
Right, and they're going to be depending on him that much more, so it could be that much easier for him to get hurt.
Right, and then there's going to be a significant increase in what they're expecting offensively from Draymond, too.
Yeah, and Draymond I've never been a fan of his, really.
I've always liked Draymond, but last year in the playoffs, he was a different animal. But he's always said he's like a 16 game player, not an 82 game player. He's going to have to be an 82 game player. This whole team is. They can't go into the season with the mindset they've had the last 5 years. Of, all right, let's just cruise into the playoffs and let's go. Like, they're going to have to fight to make the postseason.
Yep, and that's on Steve Kerr. Can he kind of instill that in his team?
Yeah, so I'm lower on them than a lot of people are who think that they're just.
I mean, I'm lower on them than you are.
Yeah, you have them 8.
Yeah.
I have them 6, but like you said,
there's
the bottom
no
of this
joke
West,
about it. This West is going to be ridiculously tough.
Yeah, and I really think if something, obviously we're not rooting for injuries. I want to see Steph do Steph Curry things all year. I'm really excited to see him as the focal point of the offense again, going off and shooting however many times he shoots a game.
Like MVP stuff?
Yeah, because that was incredibly fun to watch. But if something were to happen to him, this team's not making the playoffs.
Nope.
I mean, with D'Angelo Russell as your number one scorer, sorry, I don't like that in the West. I don't like that at all.
And that's about it. Like,
yeah. I mean, what were the Nets, like a 7th seed last year with D'Angelo as their number one option in the East?
But he had we've talked about how solid the Nets were just in general as a full roster. Like, the Nets from last year are a more solid roster than the Warriors are right now.
From a depth perspective, yeah easily.
Depth, yeah.
So, yeah, you've got him finishing 8th. I've got him finishing 6th. Let's move on to the Houston Rockets. Did you see Colin Cowherd's playoff predictions?
No, what do you say?
I never watched Colin Cowherd, but I just saw this on Twitter. He predicted the Rockets will not make the playoffs.
That's a little far for me.
Where do you have them?
I have the Rockets 5th.
Okay, I have them finishing first. First in the entire West, and I have some reasoning for it.
That's interesting.
Can I explain my reasoning first before we even go into it?
Go ahead.
So the way I look at the West this year, I see a team in the Clippers who are going to rest their players a bunch. Paul George is going to miss some time to start the season, and it kind of sounds like it's going to be more time than we initially thought.
Really?
Maybe like a month or 2 of the season, or the first. It sounds like he might miss a quarter of the season.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So, and then I'm guessing once he's back, they're probably not going to put a ton of burden on him, and they're going to rest him a couple games. Same with Kawhi. They're going to do a lot of load management. I think the Lakers are going to do the same. They're going to rest their guys a bunch. I think that a bunch of these other teams, there's too many new. I know Westbrook is new and stuff, but the system is still really set in stone in Houston. And I'm looking at Harden has played almost every game in the past 7 seasons. Russ has played almost every game in the past 4 seasons. These dudes don't miss time in the regular season. We know how hard they play in the regular season. That's why I have them finishing first. I think they're going to take the regular season incredibly seriously.
Okay.
But I do question the fit.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of the things you said. We'll get to the Clippers, but with this Rockets team, when I watch them play, I love it. When I'm one of the people that when this first happened, I loved it. Because I think Russell can take a lot of pressure off Harden and have Harden more fresh for fourth quarters, because we see Harden ball out all game and then kind of be gassed, especially when it comes to the postseason. And by game 3, game 4 of a crucial series, this dude is gassed, especially in the fourth quarter of some of these games. I really like Capella as a center in this league. I think Eric Gordon is fantastic. I like Gerald Green. A year older on him, though. I'm not big on Ben McLemore. I'm not big on Austin Rivers. You pick up Cephalosha, I guess that's okay. PJ Tucker's got another year on him. I still like this team a lot. I think Russell's and Harden will be a better fit than people think, but we might see a lot of what we saw from last night with the Harden with 40 and Russell struggling, because Harden looked like he had something to prove. I don't know. I would have to think that Harden would play off-ball Russell, or you're not going to get all of Russell Westbrook. So
I worry about Russell Westbrook off-ball.
No, I'm saying I don't want Russell off-ball.
But to be fair, the Rockets, the way their team's built, maybe depending at times, if they even want to make PJ Tucker a small ball 5, I know they do that every now and then. They could have 4 shooters on the floor minus Westbrook, so he could cut. We really have never seen Russell in that kind of situation where he can play off ball and cut a bunch, because even in OKC they had no shooters really ever, so there was no spacing on the floor.
You would think they would do that a lot. My thing, we talk about depth. I don't see it on this team. I'm not big on Austin Rivers, man. And he's gonna have to be.
The Rockets fan loves him for some reason.
He's gonna have to be a pivotal piece of this team. I mean, I like this team though. I think they're going to be good. Harden is no doubt, one of the best scorers in the league. I'm a fan of Russell, but is he inconsistent night to night? Yeah, I'm giving them. I think they're going to be good. Not saying they're not going to make playoffs is a really bold prediction in my mind. I watch Cowherd a lot. I think his show is pretty good, but I don't know about all that. And then Tyson Chandler, dude's 37 now.
I mean, he gave the Lakers some good minutes last year.
I mean, he'll be okay. He'll be okay for him. You got Nene, he's 37. I just see a lot of age. Harden and Westbrook they're gonna be, the driving force of this team, and they're gonna live or die with how they do. And it's gonna be it's gonna come down to a lot of fourth quarter, can Russell and Harden not screw it up type of thing.
Yeah.
And they'll win a lot of games, I think. And, once playoff comes, it's all about matchups for me in playoffs. So it all depends on who they get in the first round. I think this is a beatable team. But they should be good. I mean, they should be good. I got them 5th.
Yeah, I'm
gonna do my Clippers rebuttals when we get to the Clippers.
I just think that, like you said, we know. I mean, it's really not a secret how much Harden cares about being the regular season MVP. He cares a lot about it. He was salty he took out a page in, I think it was Milwaukee's paper, basically congratulating Giannis, but also saying why he should have been the MVP, like in a backhanded way.
Right.
Like, Harden's going to come out and play every single game as hard as he possibly can, and that's Russell Westbrook's MO too. Is that going to tire them out towards the end of the season? Yeah, probably. But this isn't like a championship prediction or anything. This is just, I think they're going to finish first in the West. And not making the playoffs, I don't know how the fuck you even come to that conclusion. Really.
Yeah, I don't get that one.
Well, his logic was that there's going to be so much drama surrounding the Daryl Morey situation that they're just not even going to be able to play.
It's not going to be that much drama around it.
Yeah. I would say even the drama around Daryl Morey has expanded, and now it's just drama around everybody.
Right. Like, I don't think it boils down to the players playing on the court like that drama.
Okay, so I got him finishing first. Maybe I guess given everyone else's predictions, maybe that's a bold prediction. I don't know, but
I think that's kind of bold. But I do like this team. I just think Houston is kind of not a guaranteed to just be the best team.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But that's just where I think they're gonna finish. All right, moving on. Damn, we're getting a lot of the playoff teams out of the way quickly.
Yep.
The Los Angeles Clippers, one of the biggest off seasons in NBA history, if not probably the biggest.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of the whole Paul George situation, like you were saying. So that
shoulder.
But issue. Even with that, even with that, and we're talking about these teams without injuries. I think the Clippers can be just fine without Paul for a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too.
Will it be interesting to kind of see how he fits in after a 2-month, or however long? Yeah, it could be a little interesting, but. Man, they got some players on this team. I'm a big Landry Shamet guy. He's going to be a big piece for this team. I didn't even know they picked up Patrick Peterson. That is a great fit in my eyes. You got Zubac, a young center. I'm a huge Harrow guy. A huge Harkless pickup in my mind. I didn't know they picked up JaMychal Green either. That's a solid pickup. And then you got Pat Bev, Kawhi. I think Shamet and Lou Will, while Paul George is gone, can easily fill that role as far as those two guys being what Paul George does. Maybe not defensively. Yeah, maybe not defensively, but I love Harrell down low. JaMychal Green should be solid. Terrence Mann looks pretty good in this preseason. It'll be interesting to see if he's a little decent piece to this team. But man, Kawhi, to me, he's just the number one player in basketball right now. And this guy is just such a solid winner. He knows how to win basketball games. And
what? Sorry.
Yeah, and I got the Clippers finishing first.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say Kawhi was the best player in basketball?
Yeah.
I disagree so hard on those statements.
He just is, man. Overall, to me, he just wins games. He plays defense, and he hits shots. He hits shots throughout the games that it deflates other teams.
I have them finishing third. But let me say, I am not nearly as sold on this team as everyone else is. Not even nearly close. Because there are so many question marks revolving around this team. One, who the fuck is playmaking on this team? Paul George has never done that. Kawhi has never done that. Patrick Beverley is not a playmaker. Do you take Lou Will off the bench and give him that role and take away his six man?
I mean, we already know that Lou Will could be a starter, so.
Yeah, I know, but Lou Will said a million times he likes coming off the bench and that's his thing. But
I mean,
and Lou Will gets 30+ minutes. I know that it's just it doesn't really matter that he's
comes in pretty quickly.
I know, but I'm saying I just worry about who is creating on this team for others. Paul George.
This team's going to be defensive and is going to be able to score in half
perimeter wise, yeah. That was my next question: is who is defending the paint whenever they get to the playoffs? If they face the Lakers, who in the hell is stopping Anthony Davis? It's not Zubac. That guy is burnt toast.
It's
not Montrez. That's not good either.
Yeah.
Defensively, I love Montrez. Defensively, he's not. He leaves a little bit to be desired, but I do love Montrez.
So you probably put Paul George or Kawhi on him.
And then you have a terrible size mismatch.
Right, but I mean, you probably have to.
Perimeter-wise, yeah, this defense is going to be incredibly stout.
Yeah.
But offensively, I have questions because Paul George and Kawhi, they're incredibly similar to me. So,
no, I agree with that.
If they run a pick-and-roll game with those two, they can just switch defenders because whoever's defending Paul George is going to be able to defend Kawhi Leonard and vice versa.
In theory.
But I do like this team. I mean, 8th seed a year ago in a really tough West, and they lost Shai Gilgeous, which was tough for their future. But as it stands right now, I don't think he was impacting them that much, honestly.
And then you pick up Landry Shamet?
Well, they had Landry Shamet last year, too.
Well, Shamet could be Gilgeous. They could have similar careers.
Yeah, Landry's more of just like a spot shooter, really. Off the screen shooter. Shai's more of like a playmaker.
He can play, man.
Yeah, I mean, I like Landry Shamet I mean, they're an incredibly deep team. I like the team. I got the finishing third, but they got question marks.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I do love Doc Rivers as a coach, too.
Yeah. And I think I could give him the benefit of the doubt over D'Antoni for sure. So
yeah, but we'll see. I'm going to be really interested to see what they do at that point guard position. Do they finally just bump Lou Will up?
Yeah, I mean, you could start Pat Bev, and then when he comes out, you could have just Lou Will run the point.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of playmaking.
It says right here 6 days ago that Paul George is not going to be here for the first 10 games.
I saw a thing yesterday that said 10 to 20.
Okay.
Which is kind of an up in air.
I mean, I understand being cautious with this team, especially if they come out and without Paul George, they're winning. Definitely don't need to rush it back.
Well, I'd be cautious with Paul George because, I mean, this was a lingering issue for him all last year, and it really started to show towards the end of the season.
Yeah, 100%.
So we'll see. I got them finishing third. Some questions for me. Did you have them finishing first?
I got them first, yeah.
I got him third.
And remember, my list was supposed to be fully healthy, so that's fully healthy Paul George. I didn't know if he missed 20 games, it could definitely shake it up a little bit.
So let's move on to the other LA team, the Los Angeles Lakers.
Man, it's good to see that thumb wasn't a crucial injury for AD.
Yeah, I had a feeling it wasn't.
Yeah, I got the Lakers third.
Okay, I got them finishing fifth.
With this team fully healthy, man, AD is looking like MVP this year to me. And I got to ask you, because me and you are playing fantasy basketball, and this is kind of like you're going to take it seriously this year, I think. Number one pick in fantasy basketball this year, who in the world do you take number one?
Dude, I have to do more research. I'm really bad at fantasy basketball.
I mean, it'd probably be Harden or AD in my mind. But I like the Danny Green pickup. This team had to scramble to pick up some guys after they couldn't get Kawhi. I like the Quinn Cook pickup. I think Caruso could be a good player. I think Avery Bradley might be a sneaky X factor on this team.
I think so, but in the wrong ways.
Well, just defensively. I don't think we really need him to score. I mean, he'll get his
so
transition.
Bad on the Clippers last year.
Yeah, I think this is a little better situation for him because Avery Bradley has been kind of a, bottom of the depth chart fill-in guy. I think he can kind of be a little bit better of a role. People talk about Jared Dudley like he's going to have a huge impact. I don't see Jared Dudley being, as an X factor. He should be bottom of the depth chart on this team.
People really saying that?
I just keep hearing Jared Dudley. I'm like, dude, can we stop talking about Jared Dudley?
I remember after he signed, he posted that tweet where there's a picture of LeBron, AD, and him.
Yeah, like Jared Dudley just needs to relax a little bit. You hope Kuzma can take a step. If he can take a step and be this team's solid number 3, that'll be huge. Kind of sucks DeMarcus Cousins got hurt, man. You hate to see it. I'll tell you this too. KCP, who I've never been a huge fan of, has looked really good in this preseason. He just looks like. I'm not saying that preseason this or that. I'm just saying, eye test what I've seen Lakers preseason. I've never seen a better KCP. So maybe he has a better year than what I've. He's been really inefficient at times, but this dude can hoop. There's no doubt about that. So they have a lot of.
I cast Sam doubt.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm not huge on him, but I'm just saying he looks better to me right now than I've ever seen before. Is all I'm saying.
All right, that's fair.
And they have a lot of guard depth. They also have Costas Antetokounmpo, so could maybe Costas, get a nice little 10 minutes a game.
I don't think they have him anymore.
Oh, they don't. I'm looking at the roster on ESPN right now. It's got him on there.
Pick it back up. I thought.
Yeah. But I like this Quinn Cook pickup. I think Troy Daniels could be a solid piece. Danny Green is going to be huge for this team.
Yeah.
Danny Green's going to have to be huge. I don't know much about Demetrius Jackson, 25 years old. And then you got JaVale and Dwight Howard, which is a very, very interesting centers. I mean, these are two guys that probably were leading the way for Shaqtin' a Fool at one point. And JaVale's came a long way from that. And I've always said that I thought that year that JaVale was on the Mavs, was a turning point in his career. I think he improved a lot that season.
JaVale's always been good. He just has an incredibly low IQ at times.
Yeah, but he's looking pretty solid fit for this team. They seem to have a lot of camaraderie. So I got this team finishing third, and that's with obviously nobody being healthy. Because if LeBron or AD goes down, they could definitely struggle a little bit.
Yeah, I got them finishing fifth. Just as I have questions with the Clippers, I have questions with the Lakers too. You're really banking on some of these role guys that you just went out and got, hoping that they could turn it around or rejuvenate their careers. You're really banking on them doing so because Avery Bradley was so fucking horrendous last year. He might have been the worst player to get significant minutes in the entire NBA. So you're banking on him. Again, he's probably I don't know, the fifth most important player on this team, sixth maybe. I don't know. Right. So is he even going to be in closing lineups? I mean,
I think they need him for defensive purposes. I don't really think they're going to be depending on him for scoring.
Yeah, but I mean, even defensively, he was horrible last year. But he's in a different situation, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he was on the Clippers. It's not like he was on some dog shit team when he was being horrible.
For sure. But we know the Clippers roster was just kind of interesting, and I feel like his role was kind of weird there.
Yeah, I do like Danny Green on this team. For everyone who gave the Lakers shit this offseason, I thought they had a fantastic offseason.
No, they did. I mean, they did the best with what they could. And
you brought in Anthony Davis.
We didn't even mention Rondo or the coaching changes. So
I like Frank Vogel. Vogel.
I think that's nice. And he's got Jason Kidd an assistant, which I think is a great spot for him as well.
Yeah, but the whole underlying issues there, with people thinking that Jason Kidd is going to try to undermine him, that worries me.
A little bit, but why not just do it together and look for a championship? It's only going to benefit everybody.
It's never that easy with LeBron.
That's fair. I mean, if they were to struggle, then maybe it could be a problem. If they play well, I don't see it being that big of a problem.
No, I don't either. And we're going to see if Kyle Kuzma can take the next step. That's going to be big for this team too.
For me, AD is just looking like MVP, man. He is looking incredible.
Anthony Davis, when he's on the court, has always been a top 6 player in the entire.
Oh my god, man, he's looking nuts.
Bar none, LeBron's best teammate ever.
So who's going to start at center? You think JaVale? I would think JaVale.
Have to be JaVale.
Yeah, I would think.
I mean, JaVale's the best player center they have. At this
I love Rondo with LeBron. I think that is just such a fantastic fit.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're really, really trying to make LeBron the starting point guard, I guess Rondo off the bench is a secondary playmaker, but
no, I mean you can use him how you use him. I just love that fit. I just love them playing together.
I've just always been the guy who feels that LeBron should just be surrounded by the most shooters humanly possible. Yeah, and that's when you're going to get the best out of LeBron.
Yeah,
I'm super excited to see LeBron this year.
Yeah, and there's only he's always
been my favorite player.
Yeah. But AD is a shooter in himself too.
Yeah, no, AD can shoot.
And Quinn Cook can shoot.
AD can shoot. I mean, if you have a starting five of, I don't know, LeBron, Danny Green.
Kuzma's going to be huge, though. Kuzma's got to be their bona fide number 3, and he's got to be scoring at least 15 points a game, I would think.
He's got to be scoring in the fourth quarter when it really matters, too.
Really just hitting some big shots is where they're going to need him.
Yeah, because they're going to send a lot of defense LeBron's way. They're going to send a lot of defense.
He's probably going to have a lot of open shots, for sure.
And guess what? He is the third fiddle on this team. You know what third fiddles on LeBron-led teams You know the scrutiny they get.
Right.
Bosh, K-Love. He's going to have to be ready for a lot of blame.
You're right in that these role guys are going to have to step up, but I think a lot of them can.
Yeah, I mean, Avery Bradley has been a good player over his career, so it's not like you're asking a dude who's just been horrible his entire career to do good. Danny Green's always been an elite 3-and-D player, like one of the best 3-and-D players in the NBA.
Huge pickup.
JaVale McGee is a great rim runner.
Yeah.
Which is you like having rim runners with LeBron.
Right.
And Anthony Davis is a great rim protector, something that LeBron I don't think has ever had.
Right.
I'm trying to think. I really don't think LeBron's ever had an elite rim protector.
And they have good size. Like even their point guards, Caruso's 6'5", Rondo's short, but AD is a big, large down there.
Rondo always plays bigger than what he is.
Yeah.
Physical game.
I just think their center could be worse. JaVale and Dwight, it could be worse.
That's what I'm saying. Everyone's shit on the Lakers, but it's like, dude, they got Anthony Davis. Like they did not have a bad offseason.
Right. If they had Boogie too, man.
Yeah, Boogie would be interesting. So that sucks.
Just because him and AD have played together is why I would think it would be nice. But maybe Boogie can still have a role in this team in the locker room.
I don't know what that situation is going to be honest with you.
I mean, what else? He's going to be in suits on the bench, right? Is he just not going to be around?
Yeah, but after those phone call shit leaked, I don't know what his situation is going to be.
What is leaked phone calls?
You didn't hear those?
No.
I'll let you go and look because I'm not explaining all that shit, but some pretty bad phone calls leaked.
With him and what?
Threatening to shoot his girl or something.
Oh, jeez.
So I don't know what. That honestly is a while ago, and I haven't really heard anything since then. So I don't know if that was just kind of swept under the rug or what. But we'll see.
I don't think that would affect the team camaraderie.
Well, no, I'm just saying like I don't know.
If there's a lot of guys in the NBA that have probably shot some guns. So.
Well, I'm just saying like I don't know if there's going to be like a crackdown from the league or something like don't be on the bench. I don't know.
Okay.
Probably just looking too far into it to be honest with you. I got the finishing 5th. You got them finishing 3rd. Let's go on. Memphis Grizzlies.
I got the Grizzlies 9, 10. I got the Grizzlies 11th.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm really interested to see how the bottom of your standings shake up then.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking too. That's where I was struggling with the West was like, how do I start the bottom of the West?
This was literally the easiest thing I had in the entire West was putting the Grizzlies dead last.
Okay. Man, I think this team could be pretty decent. I like Ja Morant. Obviously, he's going to have to be, rookie of the year kind of type season for them to be okay. But I think Triple J is an absolute machine.
I love you know that I've always loved Jaren Jackson Jr.
Also, if Valanciunas can be healthy, that's a solid center. This starting 5, man, with Jay Crowder. They got Dylan Brooks, you got Kyle Anderson, you got Grayson Allen that could take a step. You got Solomon Hill, who's a solid player. If Andre Iguodala will stop bitching and just be a role guy on this team.
I don't think he plays a single game for them.
Okay, that's fair. Josh Jackson, he could take a step here. Tyus Jones, he could take a step here. I think they have a decent future with what they got. And I kind of like this team more than some others. So there's not a whole lot to say about these bottom guys, but I just looked at this roster and I was like, I think they could be pretty good.
Yeah, I got them last. Okay. Just because there's a lot to be excited for the future. I love Ja Morant. I've always been so big on Jaren Jackson Jr. because before the 2018 draft, as a Mavericks fan, I was doing research on a bunch of these dudes, and it really seemed like Jaren Jackson Jr. could have fell to us. Yeah. This is before we even thought Luka was a possibility.
Right.
So Jaren Jackson was my guy for the longest time. I think he is so good. He does everything you want a big in today's NBA to do. Shoot. He can guard anywhere. He can switch on the perimeter. He can pass, play make. He can rebound.
He's huge, too. He's just huge.
Yeah, I love Jaren Jackson Jr. He's going to be a great, great player. He's going to be like an Al Horford type player, I feel like, where his stats will never jump out at you. But when you watch the games, you'll say, like his impact on the team.
So you must not think very much of Ja Morant, at least as a rookie.
No, I love Ja Morant. What I'm saying is look at the rosters around the Western Conference. This team just is young. There are teams with the Grizzlies might be the only team in the West without, well, maybe not might be, but without like a superstar caliber player right now.
Right. I guess they're kind of banking on if Ja can be that guy. even at the
I
point guard
love
spot.
Ja Morant, and I have a bold prediction for Ja Morant, but I'm thinking our next episode we should talk about like who we think's going to win awards and stuff.
Okay.
But I have a bold prediction for Ja Morant. I love his game, and he's going to be one of the most exciting players to watch in the NBA for his career because he was a superstar in college. He led the country in assists. He was the first college player. This shocked me, but I guess it kind of makes sense given the pace of play and stuff in college. He was the first D1 player to average 10 assists or more in a season since 1995.
Oh, wow.
It kind of surprised me.
I kind of hope it's not a Markelle Fultz situation, but I think he's a little bit better of a player overall.
No, it's not going to be a Markelle Fultz situation. Ja Morant does it all on the offensive side. Yeah. Defensively, leaves a little bit to be desired. But, I mean, this dude was carrying a not great school.
Like, you think the Thunder will be better than the Grizzlies? Like, I'm just looking at some of these bottom teams, and I think the Grizzlies will be a little bit better.
Well, we're going to get to the Thunder in a second. Yeah. But if I'm just looking at the Thunder right now, assuming this is their roster, I have to give them the edge. I don't know what their team's going to look like by the end of the season.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I like the Grizzlies have a bright future.
Okay.
But I'm saying just this year, and it'd probably be in their benefit to finish around towards the bottom and try to get a third
shooting
superstar
guard
in there.
Yeah.
Or something. Or center. I love Jonas Valanciunas too.
Yeah, I mean, but he's always made of glass, so.
Yeah, he's made of glass, and he's 27, so I don't know if the window really fits there, or if maybe he comes back, has a really good season.
If he's healthy, though, I like that fit.
Yeah, but if he's healthy, has a really good season, wouldn't it not be in their best interest to see what they could get?
Maybe shop him, yeah.
Shop him around?
Yeah.
I do like Dylan Brooks, too. I didn't talk about him, but I like him, too.
I like Brooks.
And, Jay Crowder's another one of those dudes who maybe around, February, some contenders come knocking because he's one of those dudes you can plug into a contender.
Sure.
And he can have an impact. I have them finishing last. It's not really anything about, like, negative. It's not like the Suns last year where it's like, this team is a fucking disgrace.
Right.
But it's just a young team and a really good conference. And there's going to be growing pains and all of that. With rookie point guards, there's always growing pains.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay. But you're a little bit higher on them than I am. But, I like their team moving forward a lot.
Okay.
All right, moving on to the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is probably one of the harder teams for me, to be honest with you.
See, I got the Timberwolves last.
Okay. I got the Timberwolves 11th. Did you have the Grizzlies 11th?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's funny. I got them 11th.
Man, could they be better than last? Sure. I just look at this team, and it's Teague and Towns. I mean, that's it. And Towns.
I wouldn't put Teague's in there. I would say Culver, Wiggins, and Towns.
I mean, I think Jake Layman has looked pretty good in preseason. Will Culver have a role in this team? I don't think he will yet. But they don't have a two guard. Like, I've never been.
Josh Okogie. He can defend like crazy.
Yeah, he's all right. I don't expect a lot from this team. Wiggins I'm almost like jump ship on this guy at this point. Shabazz Napier, never been what people hoped he was going to be. Jordan Bell, I guess that's an okay piece. Covington, I like Covington, but is he going to give you 20 a night? No. It's basically Towns against the world, and I just don't know how far that's going to take them. So maybe I think this is a team that could go lottery and needs another bona fide player. I don't have a lot to say about this team.
I probably agree with that assessment. But I have them 11th, and to be honest with you, I think they're a decent wild card for the 8th seed, depending on what happens around the league. If I had to choose a player out of these like bottom tier teams, Karl Anthony Towns is by far the best player on any of those teams that you would put towards that bottom tier.
I'm a fan. I just don't think he has enough around him, and he's never kind of been he doesn't seem to like take over games at the end of the games. Like he's got all the numbers and he's great talent, but how many games is he actually winning you?
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Just no help. I mean, who's going to score in the fourth quarter besides Towns? You can't trust Wiggins at this point. Teague is 31 now. I mean, I used to be pretty high on Teague. I think he's a solid point guard. But I mean, Jordan Bell he's going to have to be a key piece to this team.
I don't think he's going to have to be a key piece.
I mean, he'll be starting, wouldn't he? You would think he'd be starting at the 4?
No, Rocco at the 4, Wiggins at the 3, someone at the 2, Teague at the 1 would be my guess at least. I don't really watch that much Timberwolves basketball.
Right, and that's the thing too, man. There's just no hype. It doesn't seem like the fans give a shit. Like no one really just. I'm just not big on this team.
I'm just putting my faith in Karl Anthony Towns playing like a top 2-3 center like he is.
Right.
24 and 12 last year. He shot 40% from three on nearly 5 attempts.
Yeah.
And he took a step forward defensively. Like this, Karl Anthony Towns is unquestionably a superstar.
No doubt.
Wiggins, I mean, if he were to maybe become more efficient, would be a solid scorer at the very bare minimum. He's only 2 years removed from scoring 23 as a 21-year-old.
How does he make more money than Towns?
Yeah, that
I mean,
not
that much more, but geez, man, you gave that guy a lot of money.
That contract is backbreaking.
Yeah.
What a horrible contract. I'm super excited to see Jarrett Culver.
Yeah,
I love Jarrett Culver's game.
I told you, I'm a big Culver guy. I thought Cleveland should have snagged him right there at 6.
I think he can do a lot for you. Play defense. He can shoot. He can create his own shot.
But do you really see him? Like, what kind of role is he going to have? Because in my mind, when I look at all the shooting guards on this team, I would go with Culver, but they got like 6 of them.
Yeah, I mean,
I
don't know.
6 shooting guards that are 25 or younger.
I don't know this year what it is, but I'd say in the future, his probably best case scenario for him is he's like a really, really good third option.
I mean, they're putting him in the fourth quarter of these preseason games. Like, they're not even playing him. So I'm watching their preseason games, and all I see is Jake Layman, layup. Jake Layman shot. I mean, he's got like tape on his hands. I don't know much about him, but he's looking like he might be a solid piece to this team.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, Culver had a good preseason when he did play.
Yeah. I mean, I like Culver a lot for sure.
So we'll see. I do really like Robert Covington.
I Covington.
I think he's he's one of the better complementary pieces in the NBA, if I'm being honest. He can shoot nearly 40% from three. He's a fantastic defender.
Yep.
6'9", he's big, long, can stretch the floor, can guard anyone.
Yep.
I'd be interested to see if things went to shit with the Timberwolves, like they probably will. I'm really interested to see what they could get for someone like him.
Probably a lot.
I would assume a good team would throw first, 100%.
Yeah.
Especially if Jeremy Grant just got a first.
Right.
From the Nuggets.
Yep.
So we'll see. I got them finishing 11th. I think they're kind of a wild card team, really. It all depends on what goes on around Cat.
Like I always say, I mean, the bottom of these conferences can shake up a bunch of different ways.
Yeah, and then you're always going to have teams
when injuries happen and stuff.
And then you always had teams around the halfway point that just make it a tank race. So it really could go either way. Next up, the New Orleans Pelicans, who it sounds like will miss Zion for at least a week, the first couple weeks of the season. Which sucks, obviously, as a fan.
That really hurts where I have him. I have him 10th. I just like this young core. I think they need Zion to be where I have them though, because I think Zion's going to be a superstar. I just like this young team, man. You got all the Lakers, young guys who were able to make a move and kind of get a fresh start, especially Lonzo. I mean, it's going to be huge for him to.
I'm really excited to see Lonzo.
Right. And they had a fantastic preseason. I know I'm not trying to put too much in the preseason, but
I think there's some takeaways you can take from the preseason.
And I'm pretty big on Drew Holiday. I think he's a stud. Obviously, I think Brandon Ingram's going to have to be, probably the biggest scorer on this team other than Drew. I thought JJ Redick was a fantastic pickup. I do think Zion's a big piece. If he has continuously injuries and all this stuff, man, that's going to really hurt his career and really hurt this team. But I like Eachwan Moore as a role player, as kind of a vet on this team. Derek Favors still only 28 years old. And I mean, Frank Jackson, he could be okay. I think JJ Redick is a big piece, and then can Jahlil Okafor and him and Jackson Hayes, as two young centers, kind of lead this franchise in the big spots. I think Jackson Hayes is a monster. And then Nicolo Melli, is he new this year? Because this dude can ball. I've never seen him before. This guy can hoop. So I like this team, man. I think they're fast, they're athletic. They got some players. Brandon Ingram's gonna have to be huge, especially if Zion's gonna be hurt. And then Josh Hart, can he be good for him at the 2 guard, whether Lonzo's at the point and Drew's at the point. It's kind of a small guard lineup. I guess they could kind of run a lot of the times. But I think it's just fast, man. This team's gonna be running all over people, but they definitely need Zion to finish where I have them. So.
Yeah, I got him finishing 10th. Yeah, pretty much everything you said.
I thought you were gonna shit on me. I thought you were gonna have them a little lower.
No, I like their team. They got a good team.
Okay.
I mean, Drew. Even if all their young guys don't really pan out, Drew Holiday is an all-star caliber player.
He's a stud, man.
Like, he can give you 25 and 8 on really any given night.
Yep.
And with some of the best perimeter defense in the NBA. Then you have JJ Redick's lockdown shooting. He's never missed the playoffs, by the way.
Do you think they'll start Jaleel and then bring just because Jackson's a rookie? Do you think, or do you think
if Zion's healthy, I think they start Favors.
Oh, okay, and just Jackson and Jaleel on the bench.
Yeah, but with Zion out, I'd like to see them start Jackson Hayes. Honestly,
that's what I'm saying.
I think he makes the most sense. Like, he can run. He's athletic.
Yeah. You start this
jump
game.
out of the gym.
Yeah,
it makes the most sense on this team with how they like to play.
Yep.
But we'll see. It's a big year for Brandon Ingram. He's a free agent after the end of this season.
I was gonna ask you, what do you think about Bi? You think he can kind of have a great year? Or?
Great year? I don't know.
He seems like this KD personality to me, where he's just like really quiet, but he's got game. He's got really good game. It's just
he has to do it consistently.
I feel like he's got to break out of his shell and be a little more confident and be a little bit more of a leader, especially on this team.
Yeah, I mean, the talent is there,
right,
for him. I honestly love Zion. I think he's gonna be a superstar. Yeah. I think he's gonna have some growing pains though, and he has to lose weight.
I mean, did you see him balling against Gobert? This dude's just going right up into him. He don't give a damn, man. I'm like, damn, Zion is the man, bro.
He's gonna have to lose weight.
Yeah, probably a little bit.
He's going to have to. I saw a tweet yesterday that said he's had a minor or a significant knee injury in like 4 or 5 consecutive years or something like that.
Well, I saw this injury wasn't significant, and they're just
that's
precautionary.
That's why I said minor, but still, like, knee injuries are scary, and I mean, the more and more knee injuries you have, the scarier it gets.
Right. Have you been noticing Nicolo Melli though? Like, am I crazy on this guy?
No, I have no idea who that guy is.
Dude, this guy's been hooping in the preseason. I'm talking about. I had to look this guy up. He's 28 years old, but I've never heard of him. But I don't know if he might be a little solid piece to this team. 6'9", 235.
We'll see.
Kind of a stretch 4.
We'll see, especially with Zion out. I mean, they're gonna need some 4 help.
Yeah.
Some forward help.
But you like Derek Favors on this team. You like that fit.
I mean, you know how I feel about Derek Favors.
Yeah.
I love Derek Favors.
You would have taken him on the Mavs in a heartbeat, huh?
I love Derek Favors. He's a great rim protector, a good rebounder. Makes a lot of sense for this team, especially as like a veteran presence too.
Right.
So let's move on. So this doesn't go on for 2 hours. The Oklahoma City Thunder.
I got, what is there, 15 teams total? 1, 2, 3, 4. I got them 13th.
Okay.
For me, there's just a lot of question marks. I'm not big on Chris Paul at this point. I like Gilgeous-Alexander for sure. I think this dude is a real player in this league. He's a hooper. And you still like Steven Adams at the center. I just don't see this team winning a lot of games, man. I just really don't. I'm basically jumping ship on Chris Paul at this point. Can he kind of be a veteran leader in a better way that Kyrie was for that young Boston team? I guess. I've never been huge on Gallinari either. He's going to have to be pretty – I mean, if they want to be any kind of decent, he's going to have to be huge. Diallo's okay. Terrence Ferguson's okay. I just don't see a lot of, oomph in this team. Roberson can't shoot a lick. I like Schroeder, but is he going to, lead this team, be second or third in scoring? I guess. Mike Muscala, I guess. I'm just not excited when I look at this roster at all.
Yeah, I got him finishing 14th. A lot of that has to do with the fact that I don't think Chris Paul finishes the season with them. I don't think Gallinari finishes the season with them. I don't think Adams finishes the season with them. Right. So I like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Could he even be shopped? They might even trade him.
No.
No? Okay.
He's 21, man. He's definitely going to be
something to build around.
Right. And I like him. I like his potential. I think right now there's going to be some issues with him just learning more of the game and things like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Other than that, there's not much to say about this team.
They're probably going to shop a lot of their guys for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the first opportunity they get to unload Chris Paul and not have to take a huge giant contract in return, maybe something smaller, like some 1-year deals or something, they're going to take it 100%. And I think the first chance they get to trade Steven Adams, they're going to do it.
His contract's pretty hefty too, so that's not that easy. Let's remember that moving these guys is tougher than it sounds with salary cap and all that.
Right, but as the season goes on, more teams are going to have injuries. Teams are going to get desperate. Teams are going to start opening up to the idea of trading for Chris Paul. I could really see the Mavericks doing something like that.
Really? I do not want that guy on our team, man.
It could make some sense, but not a lot of sense.
I don't think so.
Not a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next team, the Phoenix Suns.
The Suns I got right ahead of the Thunder at 12.
I got them at 12 too.
I think this team has a lot of potential as far as just the future.
I think they made some decent moves this offseason.
The thing is with this roster, it's just like, okay, I like that guy. It's just like I like everybody, and it's like they can't play everybody at the same time. Is kind of where I'm like, how are they going to manage these lineups? I think Javon Carter is a really interesting player that you can't really fit him in, and then
you can't fit him in because he's not good.
Yeah, I think he's okay. Ty Jerome, I think, could be a solid piece to this team. I like the Aaron Baines pickup just to have a kind of a veteran, finally a veteran big man. You know, I think he's been on some good teams. I think he can kind of teach Ayton some professionalism. You know what I mean? But I think this team has talent. I think this is finally a good place for Kelly Oubre. So can he kind of take a role here? Tyler Johnson's an interesting fit, and then you got Kaminsky. I mean, it's just but it's all about Devin Booker, right? Like, can he kind of get some help? You know, can Dario Saric have a role on this team? It's just a lot of guys where I just don't know what this team's gonna look like. I don't know what the lineup is gonna look like. I like Tariq Owens out of Tech too. Cameron Johnson. I mean, I like all these young players. Mikal Bridges. I like all these guys. Tyler Johnson comes over. I think they have enough talent to be a formidable team.
Yeah,
but it's not a bona fide other than Booker and Ayton. It's kind of just a question mark of lineups, and I don't know how it's going to look.
Yeah, I got him finishing 12th. Nothing else really to add. I mean, Devin Booker's really good. DeAndre Ayton is really good. He's going to be a superstar in the league. He's going to be worth the number one overall pick. I truthfully think that, even no matter what Luka does. I think DeAndre Ayton is going to be that good.
Right.
But, I mean, this team made improvements. I still question some of the moves they made. I hated that they traded the 6th overall pick for Dario Saric. I mean, that trade made no sense to me. They got rid of TJ Warren for nothing.
Yeah.
Some of those moves, I thought for sure when they were doing all that shit on draft day that they were going to bring in D'Angelo Russell. But then they ended up just bringing in Ricky Rubio. I don't like that. I don't think they're really in a position to be trading away actual assets for Ricky to make room for Ricky Rubio. Like, I would have much rather them draft Jarrett Culver or something.
Yeah, I mean, you just see a lot of young guys where I'm just like, who's going to be playing? Like,
I mean,
Tyler
DeAndre
Johnson,
Ayton and
is
Devin
Tyler
Booker,
Johnson going to be a bench guy? Like, is this guy even going to play?
Tyler Johnson sucks.
I mean, I like Tyler Johnson, but
I mean, I don't think he has any role on this team really.
Okay.
Because if I'm them,
you want to see your young guys play.
Yeah. If I'm them, I'm giving Devin Booker, Cameron Johnson the most minutes I can give them. I'm giving Kelly Oubre and Mikal Bridges the most minutes I can give them. Sorry, I'm giving Ayton the most minutes I can give them, obviously. So we'll see. I got him finishing. 12th.
Yeah.
And that's a vote of confidence in them too.
I think so too for me. I could definitely switch them and the Timberwolves. Yeah, I could definitely fall to shit. Like,
they could very easily be the same old Suns and just have a
100%.
horrific season.
100%. Right. I think I'm in the same boat.
But let's move on to the next team, the Portland Trailblazers.
There we go. Another playoff team. I got them 4th.
Okay.
I got them 4th. When I look at the differences in this team from last year to this year, I love it. I love replacing Aminu. I think Zach Collins is going to have a bigger role because I think he's a really solid player.
You liked replacing Aminu.
Yeah, I liked replacing Aminu. Aminu's just slow, man. I
like Aminu.
I like Aminu, but you bring in Hazonia. You still got Rodney Hood. You bring in Labissiere, who's not really had a chance to be good on Sacramento. Now, what's Nurkic's status? I don't know. I'm going to look real quick.
No, he's going to be out for a while.
For a while.
All-Star break or later.
The team will be purposely vague when discussing his leg. Okay, that's interesting.
Everything almost sounded like All-Star break or later.
But I think I like the Whiteside fit here. I like that fit. I like the Tolliver pickup. I mean, he could be a solid, power forward. They also have Paul Gasol. I didn't know that. And I really like the Bazemore fit as well. So I look at this team from last year to this year, and I think they improved as far as just like their overall depth. I like Nasir Little too as a draft pick. I think he's good. But obviously you got that fantastic backcourt and Dame and CJ, and I think this team's going to be really tough to beat. Also, they've been playing Simons a lot in the preseason. This dude he looks really talented. This guy can just flat out score.
Yeah, I know Trailblazers fans really like him.
Right, so I don't know if he's going to be a big piece, but I like Hazonia, man. Hazonia is 6'8". I just like that, a younger, faster player who's a little more can pass the ball. He's a little more better IQ for me than Aminu. And I think Zach Collins is going to take a big, big step this year. I guess is kind of my bold prediction for this team. I just like this overall team, and they were already good last year, and I think they improved in the offseason. So I got the Rockets 5th, and I got the Blazers 4th. I guess I just trust this team a little more. I think it's kind of like that Denver Nugget continuity thing. So I like this team.
I got them finishing 8th. This team does not play. I look at defensively is why I really like Aminu on this team.
Because I think he's that good a defender.
Well, I think Damian Lillard's a bad defender because he is. CJ McCollum is a bad defender. Hassan Whiteside can be completely unmotivated at times.
He's got to have some new motivation, though.
You would like to think, but there's always like players that leave teams that you're like, all right, he's going to be rejuvenated, and then it just turns out that that's just who he is.
If Nurkic was healthy, would you have a completely different spot for them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
Because him and Whiteside is your two centers.
Hassan's coming off the bench in that scenario when Nurkic comes back. I really like Nurkic.
Oh, 100%.
And I like that you mentioned Zach Collins because I like him too. I like Zach Collins.
He's a monster. He's a potential monster at least.
But I have this written down that the Trailblazers are only the 28th in the 28th percentile in plus minus without Nurkic. So they took a big hit when he got hurt.
For sure, but you picked up Hassan Whiteside. And then you still have great depth. It's not like we need Hassan Whiteside to score. We're going to need him to get second chance points, rebounds, and blocks.
Yeah, but it's just hard for me putting my faith in guys who have been unmotivated at places and not show up to play, really.
I feel you. You talk to Heat fans and they can't stand him.
Yeah. Thank God he did not sign in Dallas that one off season.
Right.
Wow. That would have been a disaster. But yeah, I got him finishing 8th. That seems low to me whenever I'm looking at my list. But then I'm looking at all the other teams in the West, and damn.
It's understandable.
There's probably like this 8 through 5 range that could go any way, and then the 5 through 1 range that could go any way.
Right. And then the bottom that could go anyway.
Yeah, so there's like 3 or 4 different tiers.
Yeah.
They could shake up any different way. Okay, let's move on. Sacramento Kings.
Sacramento, let's see. I got them second to last. I think this is just one of those teams, kind of like the Suns, that you just don't trust at all. Have they looked okay in the preseason? Yeah. Am I huge on Bagley? Not really. I'm pulling up their roster real quick. De'Aaron Fox. I really like De'Aaron Fox, but I don't love him. I don't see this guy being able to do it by himself. I'm not big on Harrison Barnes. I do like the Ariza pickup. I like the Dwayne Dedmon pickup. Kyle Guy, Buddy Hield, Corey Joseph. Just a lot of these guys. It's kind of one of these teams I don't know how it's going to look. Yogi Ferrell, Harry Giles III. It's just an interesting team. And then you got I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Number 88, Jellica, or however you want to say it. He's okay. And then Bogdan. That's a nice pickup. But I just don't love this team. I got him second to last.
I got him finishing 13th. I think that they are weirdly overrated because a lot of people think that they could really be the 8th seed. They were the 9th seed last year. I like De'Aaron Fox. He looked like he took a giant enormous step forward last year, so much so that it almost worries me. That it almost feels like maybe that was just like I don't want to say a one-off thing, but maybe he struggles to have the quality season he had last year. And that's just me being speculative. I don't know if that's really what's going to happen, but I guess we'll see. I personally love Bagley. And I'm interested to see him because he came off the bench a bunch last year. So I'm interested to see if they're gonna start him more and play him more.
Yeah, if people think he's gonna be a playoff team, Bagley's gonna have to be. A premier player in this league.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they drafted him 4th overall, so they're definitely hoping that is what he. Oh, 2nd overall. I'm sorry.
Oh well, and don't forget this all-star talent, Buddy Hield, man. He's gonna carry him all the way. Buddy. Buddy's gonna take him all the way.
I love Buddy Hield. He's a knockdown shooter. I think he's a really good player. I'm already worried that he's having press conferences talking about leaving the team.
Unbelievable.
That's not what you want in the preseason.
Unbelievable.
And I do love the addition of Dwayne Dedmon. I love that pickup. For me, I wish he would have gone to more of a contender.
But you know what Buddy Hield reminds me of right now? Melvin Gordon. That's what he reminds me of right now. Like, dude, relax, bro. You are not that premier of a player, bro. You can't take a 4-year, $90 million deal.
Yeah, but the NBA contracts are different than NFL ones.
But
Melvin Gordon's was baffling.
From the blow up of the NBA TV deals, that's not happening anymore. It is came a little bit back down since then. And yeah. I just think that deal is super generous. I think that deal in itself is super generous.
I'm actually kind of shocked that he declined that too. The more I think about it, but
I am shocked.
But we'll see. We'll see what that means going forward. I don't know what that situation is going to turn into.
I can't wait for him to hold out and just no one pay him.
Has an NBA player ever held out?
I not like this. Especially
I'm sure someone has.
But he feels like he's been an all-star or something.
I don't think he's holding out. I think he's just saying, "Yo, if I don't I'm not signing some bullshit contract." Even though
bullshit
it's not really
contract, 4-year, $90 million. Unbelievable.
I questioned the addition of Corey Joseph. That move made no sense to me at the time, and it still doesn't, because him and Yogi Ferrell are like almost identical players.
Yeah, so it's a weird roster, and that's where I'm kind of just like.
And I get you're the Kings, so you have to overpay for guys to get here. But man, that Trevor Ariza deal is kind of disgusting.
Yeah,
but it's pretty much a 1-year deal, because I think it's like a 1 year.
The Harrison Barnes deal is disgusting too. He's their highest paid player.
So there's a lot of Kings fans. I got into an argument with one earlier today on
Dwayne Dedmon making $13 million this year.
I like Dedmon though. I think
I like Dedmon, but man, man.
What was that? Was that like a 1-year deal?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look. Yeah.
I do like Dwayne Dedmon, but
I like him.
Maybe on more of a contender than the Kings.
Right.
You got him finishing 14th. I got him finishing 13th. I'm not buying into the media hype that they're a legitimate 8th seed contender. I don't believe they have.
I'm 100% not buying into the Buddy Hield hype.
Next up, the San Antonio Spurs.
I got them right outside the playoffs at 9.
Yeah,
and would it shock me? Would it shock me if they made it? Of course not. This is the Spurs. We know about Pop, and I think DeJounte Murray is a stud. So I'm pretty big on him. And DeMar DeRozan just hit 30 years of age. I like DeRozan. I've always been a pretty big fan of his. Do I think him and Murray can kind of carry this team? I guess. They'll be a good team just because Pop, and they're going to be well coached. I'm not big on Lonnie Walker taking a step. But, man, it's the Spurs. And could they beat the Warriors for the 8th seed towards the end of the year? Sure. So you got to give the Spurs the benefit of the doubt, but I got them finishing right outside the playoffs.
Yeah, me too. And it's just because I had to get the Mavericks in there because I'm a Mavericks fan.
Yeah.
So the Spurs, just out of all those teams, had to be the ones.
Yeah, if the Mavs fall off a cliff, I mean, the Spurs are probably right in there.
Yeah. And if my hearts of hearts, I think the Spurs do make the playoffs.
Okay.
But I worry about their firepower, man. They struggled to score points last year, and DeJounte Murray being back is big. He's one of the better perimeter defenders in the NBA.
Him and Fox are almost identical for me.
Yeah, but
I almost think Murray's a little bit better, to be honest with you. Maybe it's because he's got a little bit better coaching. But I mean, I look at Damari Carroll's 33, Bellinelli's 33. I do like Brian Forbes though, or I don't know if I think it's Brian.
I think it's Brian.
Brian, yeah, whatever. But I think he's actually pretty talented. I like Rudy Gay here. I like the Trey Lyles pickup as well. But, some of these other guys, I mean, they still got Patty Mills. I mean, this is going to be a solid team. You can't just play the Spurs, especially with Aldridge, DeMar, and Murray. I mean, that's a solid 3. So they got a good team. And Pirtle, you said Pirtle, right? Jacob Pirtle or Podol?
I think it's Podol.
Yeah, 24-year-old, 7-foot center. I mean, he's going to be a key piece of this team. He's going to be their, premier big man other than Aldridge. So I think this team's going to be good. I mean, if they make the playoffs, like I said, I'm not going to be surprised.
Yeah, DeJounte Murray's a really good defender. I don't love his offensive game that much.
Oh.
I'd have to compare him to Fox.
Oh man, he's super solid on offense. He's cerebral. He can dish it. He can dribble past anybody. He's got some
DeJounte
size.
Murray.
Yes.
He averaged 8 points his last full season.
I think he can play. He's 20 years old as well.
I mean, I like him. But the last we saw of him offensively, he didn't shoot well and he didn't score very much. And that's exactly what I'm worried about on this team.
Okay.
DeMar took some big strides as a playmaker last year.
Yeah.
And with DeJounte back, he probably won't have to do that again. But he still can't shoot the ball. LaMarcus had a great year last year too. He still can't shoot the ball from the 3-point line.
Right.
Rudy Gay had a good year last year, but he's 33 now, and we know his injury history.
Yep.
And you know what? They're going to miss Davis Bertans.
Yeah, I think so.
That giving him away for nothing because they thought Marcus Morris was coming, that hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts now in retrospect. Because then Trey Lyles, no thanks. I don't really give a
fuck.
Derek
White's a good player too.
Derek White's a good player too, and him and DeJounte Murray make one of the better defensive backcourts in the NBA.
Right.
But it's Popovich.
Yeah.
You don't want to bet against them, but
right.
I mean, I'm a Mavericks fan. I had to put the Mavericks in. Somebody had to leave.
Yep.
That's really all it boils down to.
Yep.
So we both got them at 9.
Yep.
Final. Is this the last team? Yeah, I think that it is.
Should we rerun our top 8?
Jets.
Oh, we do have Utah. I got Utah at 7. So
you're low. You're way lower on them than a lot of people are.
I am a little lower on them than a lot of people.
But it's weird to me because you love Donovan Mitchell. I mean, you always get in Donovan Mitchell debates.
I don't love him. Like I think I'm higher on him than you are for sure. But man, I'm not as big on him as other people are, and maybe it's because Mike Conley scares me injury wise. I mean, you gotta love Gobert. I think Donovan Mitchell is definitely a premier player in this league. There's no doubt about that for me.
Oh. What do you define premier?
As an all-star talent. As an all-star, I guess. If you're an all-star. Yeah, I mean, as an all-star. I mean, he's an all-star player. He was an all-star last year, right?
All-star. No.
No? Well, he's always in the games, like dunking and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I overhype him a little bit. But yeah, this team doesn't excite me as I'm more excited about the Mavs. I mean, regardless of being a fan of them or not. But yeah, I mean, the Jazz probably make the playoffs.
Yeah, I got him at 4. I'm decent. It's weird because I'm not high on Donovan Mitchell at all, but I'm still higher.
We kind of have Portland and Utah. I think Portland will be a little better, and you think the Jazz will be a little better.
Yeah, that's fair. I love Mike Conley as a player. He does have injury history.
I will say in the preseason, it looked like Conley understands he's a little older, and he was kind of shooting a little bit more instead of driving, and because he's been
that's what they
driver.
need him to do. Like,
right.
I mean, that was their whole thing the past couple seasons with the Mitchells. They didn't have a secondary scorer at all.
I worry about this team's depth, man.
Really? I think they're pretty deep, honestly.
I guess I like Ed Davis.
I like Moutier as a backup.
I just see a lot of 30-year-olds. I just see a lot of age. This team just doesn't excite me, man. Joe Ingles is 32 now. He's supposed to be one of their best players. Emmanuel Moutier, you can't tell me you like Moutier.
As a backup point guard, I don't hate it.
Ugh, I about jump shipped on him. Dante Exum, I about jump shipped on him. This team doesn't.
Do you remember what NBA 2K was that where Dante Exum was your rival? Do you remember that?
Where he was my rival?
Yeah,
you're talking about in my career.
Yeah.
I mean, it had to be when probably Exum was a rookie, right?
I think so. It was the most cringe
maybe
shit.
Exum was the second year.
Dante Exum and his Austrian Exum was like, "You are going to be nothing in this league."
Yeah, I remember that now. Actually,
like, bro, who are you, bro? I remember the games. I was like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah,
I don't even know who this guy fucking is, man. Dante Exum.
Honestly, dude, It wouldn't even shock me. If you're so low on Donovan Mitchell, it wouldn't even shock me this team didn't make playoffs.
Oh no, that's egregious.
Especially if Conley got hurt.
That's egregious.
It just wouldn't shock me, man. It just wouldn't.
I think Donovan Mitchell is the most overrated player in the NBA, and that's a discussion that we should have on a different.
Then how is this team going to be fourth if Donovan Mitchell's their best player?
Because defensively they're insanely good, and I really love Mike Conley, and I think Mike Conley's the best player on their team. I think Donovan Mitchell is the third best player on their team. I really do believe that in my heart of hearts.
You know who I think is the most important player that has the highest percent chance to get hurt in the league right now?
Steph Curry.
No, Mike Conley.
But this team
and he's gonna be that important for this team.
Yeah, I mean, I could say that.
I could say A. Davis.
We didn't even talk about the addition of Bogdanovich.
I like it.
Shooter.
I like it. I like Bogdanovich, but
Ed Davis too. I forgot that they got Ed Davis for like $5 million.
Yeah, dude, some of you guys are so big on Ed Davis. I don't get it. I've never.
But he fits a role. Like I wasn't like, oh my god, Ed Davis is going to be a center all-star of our team.
As a backup behind Rudy, I like it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Like I would have loved for the Mavs to get Ed Davis for $5 million. That's all I was saying. I didn't want to give like $15 million to him.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather have Boban though, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really give a shit. Like Ed Davis rebounds the ball really well, and at the time we needed that. But yeah, Boban's fine.
Okay.
But
you're a little higher on the Jazz than me. Maybe I just don't like them. I don't know what it is.
I just look like playoffs. When playoffs come, that's a different story because I don't know how I feel about this team in the playoffs.
Right.
But as far as the regular season goes, I mean, Rudy Gobert is just a monster.
No doubt. He's my favorite player in this team.
Can stay healthy.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell. Can he take a next? I would love to be wrong about Donovan Mitchell. But God, dude, all of these Dwayne Wade comparisons make my head hurt, man. Y'all got to stop. Y'all have to stop comparing these young players to dudes like that.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of younger fans. Do y'all not remember how good Dwayne Wade was?
Right.
I watched this dude in his third year in the league break our fucking hearts.
Yeah.
And win a championship as the best player on the team.
Right. With not a great roster.
No, with like a dinosaur Shaq. Who else
right.
on that team?
Gary Payton, dinosaur.
Yeah. Gary Payton, 55-year-old Gary Payton.
I mean, a solid Udonis Haslem at that time.
Yeah, a good Udon.
I don't think Ray Allen was there yet.
No, Ray Allen was not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So
Dwayne Wade is a top 5 shooting guard to ever play the sport.
100%.
So probably
top 3.
I've seen people argue top 2, and I don't even hate that.
No, you can't hate that at all.
Depending on what you label Jerry West as, but Donovan, y'all have to chill. Donovan Mitchell's a good player, but wow.
Yeah.
It's like the same people I see comparing Kevin Huerter to Klay Thompson.
Kevin Huerter?
Yeah.
I don't even know who that is.
Dude, the dude on the fucking Hawks, the redhead dude.
The redhead dude? I really don't.
You know who he is. I guarantee you do.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the Heat team in 06, bro. I mean, Alonzo Mourning, he was old. James Posey.
That's what I'm saying. So that was Donovan Mitchell this year.
An old Jason Williams, the white chocolate on their team.
Oh, white chocolate was on that team.
How in the world did this team win a championship?
Oh, we all know why.
The refs.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
But no,
how many free throws did you shoot a game?
It was like 20 in those last couple games.
Unbelievable, for sure. And we had a 2-0 lead, right?
Yeah, 2-0 lead, and then Dwayne Wade averaged like 20-something free throws to finish out the series.
They won 4 straight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the most blatant, and we hate blaming the refs, but that was one of the most blatant things you'd ever seen. Yeah. It was so obvious some shit was going on.
Yeah.
So unless Donovan Mitchell carries the Jazz to a finals this year and wins finals MVP, then y'all have to stop this Dwayne Wade shit.
Yeah.
Because this team is better than that Heat team was.
Oh, not even close.
This team was better than that Heat team was.
Not even close.
Remember, the Mavs are like overwhelming favorites in that shit.
Right.
So yeah, y'all gotta chill.
So should we rerun our top 8?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
You go first.
Okay, I'll go first. Pulling it up. Clippers, Nuggets, Lakers, Trailblazers, Rockets.
Okay, you're going from one.
I'm going from one. Yeah, I don't care about outside the top 8. Clippers, Nuggets, Lakers, Trailblazers, Rockets, Mavs, Jazz, Warriors. My top 8.
I'll go 8-1.
Why? Why? Go 1-8.
Because that's what you look at when you go down. 8-1. This is how I finishes 8. It's like a countdown.
Okay.
Number 8. Portland Trailblazers. Number 7. Mavs. Woo! Homer pick of the day. Number 6. Golden State Warriors. 5. Lakers. 4. Jazz. 3. Clippers. 2 Nuggets, 1 Rockets.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of shocked me today. I'll say that.
Me and you do disagree on a lot of basketball stuff.
But not like crazily. We were pretty close, I think. Decently close.
I think we more disagree when it comes to players than anything else.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because there's some players you like that I think are horrendous. You just love scores, though.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. You have to give me some examples.
Like Kevin Knox?
Oh, yeah. I do like Kevin Knox.
Kevin Knox is horrendous. Like, you just love scores.
Go Knicks. Let's go.
You didn't have the Knicks.
No, right. I had him like 10, I think.
You almost did.
Yeah.
No, you had him like 13th or something. You were hyping it up, and you were like, yeah, I don't know, the Knicks.
No, I got 12.
I was like, please tell me you don't have the Knicks. And then you're like, yeah, Knicks 12. I was like, what the fuck? That's like where I have them.
Go Knicks.
Yeah. All right, so I guess my bold predictions, Rockets at the first.
That's bold for sure. I guess my bold is I just don't think the Jazz are going to be that special.
I think your bold is the Warriors at 8. It's kind of crazy to me.
Is it that crazy? You have them at 6?
Yeah, but I think there could be big gaps between 8 and 6 sometimes. We've seen the 3, 4, 5, 6 all be one game apart from each other.
No, yeah, I feel you there.
Wasn't that the case last year?
I could just see the Mavs being better than them, man. I really just can. We're a deeper team. We have who in the world is going to guard Kristaps on that team? Don't tell me Draymond.
Ooh, who's going to guard Kristaps on any team, bro?
100%.
He is a problem.
Yes, a big problem. Man, you ever use him in 2K? Because I know we play 2K together sometimes.
I really don't. I only play my career on 2K.
This man is a cheat code in 2K.
Well, yeah.
In of himself.
Can shoot. Dude's a cheat code in the real life NBA when he's healthy.
Right.
I mean, I've seen him in the preseason crossing people over. Remember the Pistons game he crossed Drummond.
And you gotta love Luka, man. This dude is an absolute machine.
He's had a great preseason too, guys.
I know.
I mean, a great preseason. He's averaged something like 20 and 5 in 20 minutes.
I like our roster built, man. It's definitely like our team. Like when we shit the bed, like early in the preseason against not OKC because I didn't really take too much of that game. But it was like our starters, and they kind of
the Bucks.
The bed. Yeah, I think it was before the Bucks.
We only lost 2 games this preseason. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I can't remember who it was, but we kind of shit the bed like third quarter. We might have a little bit of a 3-point problem. I mean, Luka's going to be our obviously best 3-point shooter. I mean, you hope Seth Curry can be, a premier player off the bench for us.
I mean, that's why he's here is to shoot
right,
threes.
Right. So we got to hit some threes to win games. So, but I like, should be a really fun season.
Tuesday, I can't wait.
Oh yeah, how did my night start off last night?
Oh, I was talking about the NBA season tipping off.
Oh, my football week last night. Oof.
The Broncos look like
that was the most embarrassing thing I think I've ever seen. That was wow. Like I was like, man, I put my faith in this.
Man, that was just ugly, man.
And then
we'll talk about that on Tuesday.
Yeah, for sure.
But Wednesday, what should we talk about on the basketball pod on Wednesday?
That's the day that the season starts, right?
No, it's the day after. So we could talk about that.
Maybe do some Thursday predictions
for games.
Yeah, or something. I don't know.
Well, let's do award predictions.
Award predictions.
Yeah, because I got some bold ones.
Okay, if y'all have something y'all want us to touch on NBA, let us know.
I got some bold award predictions, I think.
Okay.
And we could go over because
who
plays on opening night?
Buddy Hield MVP or
Buddy Hield MVP race.
Oh boy,
Clippers
take your money, man. Take your money.
I would more say Jaylen Brown than Buddy Hield.
Jaylen Brown, take your money too.
I think there's a bit better chance Buddy Hield gets paid than Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown could have a better money deal than Buddy Hield. Yeah. I mean, they're really pretty similar players. I mean, Buddy Hield's a little bit better shooter.
I think so too.
Yeah. But all right, guys, like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff.
Yep.
Shout out Conley for the Rockets number one seed.
Rockets.
Honestly, I'll tell you, I would love that. Like, if
I think that'd be fun.
They would have to figure out perfectly for me though to be the number 1 seed.
I just think that it's gonna be such a bloodbath, and those two dudes play regular season harder than any other superstar in the NBA probably.
Right.
You'd have to think at least. I mean, LeBron takes.
I love Capella too.
He's okay.
Really?
You gotta love Eric Gordon.
I mean, yeah, I love Eric
And
Gordon.
I love PJ Tucker so much.
Yeah, he's getting a little older too.
I've always liked players like PJ Tucker who play like any position.
3-and-D, that's your specialty.
I love 3-and-D players.
3-and-D players.
Love 3-and-D players. You like scores? I love 3-and-D players. I'll always give an edge to 3-and-D players.
Jay Crowder. Woo!
Over Kevin Knox. I'd rather have Jay Crowder than Kevin Knox. I'm literally not even kidding.
I mean, I feel that, but
on a team
Kevin
right
Knox
now,
have a better career than Jay Crowder? Best believe it.
I don't even know. Jay Crowder was nice with it for a while.
No, I loved him on the Mavs for sure. Shout out you, Jay.
Yeah, and he was on some good Boston teams.
Yeah, some good Boston teams.
Where did he go after that? Was it straight to the Jazz?
Jazz, right?
Okay, well, my dogs are barking, so I'm going to go ahead and just cut this shit off right now.
All right,
guys. Bye.